welcome back to my channel. My name's Lila and this is Lila's Library. So as you can probably see from the title, it's time to film probably one of my favorite videos to film, but it's time for my August reading wrap up and my September TBR. I'm so excited. I read such good books this month. I read 8 books this month. I haven't read that many books since like months ago, like many months ago, because I've been in an awful slump, but I finally got some books read, and I'm so excited to show y'all what I read and what I plan to read this month. So let's get into it. Okay, so starting off with the TBR, the first book I read is a classic, and starting out this month, I was planning on reading a bunch of classics. I was going to film a video for y'all of me reading said classics, but it ended up not turning out that way. I only read 2, and I just realized that I didn't need to force myself to read something that I didn't want to read, because I didn't want to put myself back into another book slump. So that's why I only read 2. But yeah, anyway, the first classic and the first book of August that I read was Carmilla by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. I don't know. I'm sure I butchered that. I apologize in advance. Please don't come for me. Anyway, yes, I read Carmilla, and honestly, it's a really decent classic to read. I would suggest starting with Carmilla if you want to get into classics. If you don't know what it's basically about this girl who a vampire comes to live with her, and it's just the story of that. And I rated it 3 stars. It's not the best book I've ever read, but I didn't dislike it at all. It was easy to get through, it was easy to understand, and I really enjoyed the story. There was a good storyline to it, and I'm really glad that I read this. I actually read this in high school, and I really didn't remember much about it, but there are still like my little notes from high school in this book, which is crazy. But yes, I really do recommend, if you're wanting to get into classics, to try this one. It was really good. It was fast paced. It's only like 100 pages, I think, and it took me a day to read it, less than a day really, and it's a really good beginner classic in my opinion. Okay, the next book and the second classic I was speaking about, I don't have a physical copy. I actually read it on my Kindle, but I will put a picture up here somewhere. Here, I'll do this and like put the picture right here and see if I can actually. But anyway, the second one is The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Again, I probably butchered the pronunciation, but honestly, guys, I know people are going to get mad at me for this, but I really didn't like it. It's really short. It was like 83 pages, I believe, and it took me 2 to 3 days to finish it. I couldn't make myself read it, and if y'all don't know what it's about, it's a classic. I think I already mentioned that, but it's about this guy who wakes up like he was asleep, and he wakes up and he is a bug, like an insect. Yeah. And it's just the story that goes behind that, like how his family reacts and all that. And I know that it is supposed to have a meaning behind it. And like I got the meaning, I understood it, but I just didn't like the book that much. I rated it 2 stars. It wasn't absolutely awful, but I just really didn't like it. Yeah. I mean, I just did not want to pick the book up. It took me forever, not forever, but it just took me longer than it should have to read it, and I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't really like the storyline. I just didn't really like the book, and I know people are going to be mad at me for that, because I've seen that this is people's like favorite book they've ever read, which that's okay. It's just not mine, okay? I just really didn't enjoy it. That's it. That's all I can say about it, and I'm sorry if that makes you mad, but I just really didn't like it. But yeah, anyway, I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm just saying that I personally did not enjoy reading it. So that's the end of that. Okay, so now starting off with the fun, more interesting books, in my opinion. Finally, guys, I finally read it. I finally read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I know what the hype is all about now. I fully 100% regret not reading it sooner. It's been sitting on my bookshelf since, I think, a year, actually, and I just loved this book so much. There's not many words I can say to describe how much I love this book. Xaden is a king. I love him. Love Violet. I just love everyone. Well, not everyone, but yes, I don't know. I laughed. I cried. Boy, did I cry. Boy, did I cry. Yeah, the end had me shook. Like, I sat here like this for 10 minutes after finishing this book. I am gonna try to wait to pick up the next one until I know a date-ish, or it's closer to the date for, I think it's called Onyx, I think it's Onyx Storm, coming out, because I can't wait that long, because I've heard that Iron Flame is even more of a cliffhanger than this one was, and I just don't know how, but I can't put myself through that. I'm gonna have to be able to pick the next book up and read it. But I did, of course, give this 5 stars. That is a given. It is my second favorite fantasy book I've read now, and I love this world. I love these people. I love the romance, the fantasy, the dragons. Oh my gosh, guys, the dragons are my favorite part. Like, the charisma that these dragons have, the sarcasm, the banter of a dragon? You're kidding. No, because you're kidding. I love Violet's dragons. I love Xaden's dragon. The way that they talk to her and communicate, love. Love, love, love. I just love the dragons in this book. Okay? End of discussion. 5 stars, 6 stars, 7 star, whatever. The greatest story you can give. That's what this book was, and I loved it, and I cannot wait to finish this series. Okay, next is another book I regret not picking up sooner, and it's a cute little YA romance called Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. And guys, as you can see by the way this book looks, I've had this book for forever. Like, I think when it came out, I got it, and it's just been sitting in my room, then moved to my shelves, and you can tell that I've had this since before I cared about my books. But I finally picked it up this month. For some reason, I just wanted a short, little, easy book to read, and it ended up being a 5 star. And I know it might not be a 5 star for others, but I really enjoyed this book. I related so much to the main character because she had just lost her mom and I have lost my dad, so I can understand where she's coming from, her feelings, like her thoughts about that kind of thing. And it was also just such a cute and feel-good book. I want to go to Rome now. If you don't know, it takes place in Rome. It's basically about this girl who is sent to live with her dad in Italy after her mom passes away. She doesn't want to go. She's in a bad mood all the time, as she should be. She meets someone, and it's such a feel-good book, and I loved it. It's the perfect book for summer. I'm so happy that I read it. I'm really excited to read the next 2. I have them on my shelves back there, and I just really liked it. It was a really good, cute, young adult book, and it served its purpose, and it got a 5 star from me because I just loved it that much. If you haven't read it and it's been sitting on your shelf too, pick it up. I promise you, it's so good. It's so cute. It's so cute and summery, guys. That's the only way to explain it. It's just cute and summery. But anyway, pick it up if you haven't. I promise you will not regret it. Okay, guys, this next book is another book that I'm late on the train for, and that is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. If you don't know, Her other series, The Naturals, is one of my favorite series I've ever read. I loved it so much. So I've kind of put off going into this series because I didn't think anything could top The Naturals or even come close to The Naturals. But this book is definitely really close. I don't know because I haven't finished this series yet, but it may top The Naturals. You never know. But this is about a girl who, like, basically her and her sister, they're not very wealthy. She, like, lives out of her car. She's going to high school, and then she finds out that she's inherited, like, billions of dollars from this random man she's never heard of. So she has to go stay at his mansion, and basically her and his 4 grandsons try to figure out this whole riddle that he's left them to find out why he chose her for the fortune. And it's just such a good little mystery book. I actually read this in one sitting one day, and I rated it 4 stars. It wasn't a 5, it wasn't perfect, but it was close, and I do highly recommend this if you want a cute little YA mystery book. And it just was really good at the moment that I read it. It did its purpose, and I'm really glad I finally read it. I am excited to read the next books, and I think she just came out with another. So I'm very excited to get into this full series and see if it's going to top The Naturals. Even though I don't think it's going to, but it might. You never know. But I really did enjoy this, and I highly recommend you pick it up if you haven't. Okay, guys, this next one is actually a book that I had DNF'd before, which technically I guess qualifies as a soft DNF since I picked it back up and finished it. But that is Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Chestnut Springs series, and the first time I started trying to read it, it wasn't that it's a bad book, I just wasn't in the mood for it, but I did pick it back up, and I enjoyed it for the most part. There were things that I really just didn't like about the book, and there were things that I really loved about the book. For example, I really just didn't like the main guy character that much, Rhett. I just wasn't vibing with him 80% of the time. Now, there were times that I did really like him, but most of the time I just wasn't vibing with him. But on the other hand, Summer, the main girl character, we are the same, okay? The things that she deals with, gotcha, we're twins, okay? But I ended up rating this a 3 stars. It's not my favorite romance I've ever read. It's not my least favorite romance I've ever read. It's kind of middle ground, but I am very excited to pick up the next books because I've heard that I'm going to enjoy the other books way better than this one, and I'm very excited for that because I really want to love this series because I am a cowgirl, okay? I love cowboys. I live in the South. I have an accent. I can listen to country music every single day of my life, okay? There you go, okay? Yeah, yeehaw, whatever y'all think we say. Howdy, yeah, okay? I want to love this series. It's meant for me to love this series. So I hope the next books are better. I've heard they are. But yes, it was okay. Again, it was just okay. And that's fine. If you loved this book, yeah, you have that, okay? I just didn't. It's not my favorite. But I didn't dislike it, okay? So don't get upset with me. Okay, this next one is another YA, and guys, I struggled to get through this book. Sadly, I was so excited to read it, and that is Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. I'm pretty sure this is her first YA book, and I could tell because there were a lot of things in this book that I feel like we're pushing it with it being a YA book, if you know what I mean. There were definitely a lot of things that I didn't expect to be reading with it being a young adult book, but that's besides the point. I'm just saying that. I'm just voicing my opinion. But besides that, I went into this thinking that it was going to be just a cute little short, fast YA book, and guys, it was like 70% chess and 30% romance, which the romance did count for a lot because the romance was really, really good. I loved the guy in this book. The girl, not so much, but that's okay. It's fine. But it was very heavily talked about chess in this book. I don't understand chess. I don't know chess. I don't know how to play chess. So I was lost when they were talking about it. Which, yes, it says check and mate on the front, but I didn't expect it to be so heavily about chess. So if you don't understand chess like I do, I'm not telling you not to read it, because once I got about halfway, I started enjoying it a lot more. It got bearable and it picked up a lot, and I ended up enjoying it for the most part. I rated it a 3-star, I think, just because of how heavily it talked about chess, but I loved the romance in this book. The romance is like a 4-star, 4.5-star even, but just the fact that it talked about chess so much threw it off for me, and I was really sad because I really wanted to love this book, but it just didn't turn out that way, but that is okay. Okay, last but not least, we are ending the August wrap-up on a very strong note, and that is with A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. I could make a whole video about Sarah J. Maas and this series. I don't understand how she does it. I don't know what. It's like there's crack in between the lines of these books, because if I'm not reading an ACOTAR book, there's a hole in my heart missing, and I long for it. I've been putting off finishing the ACOTAR series for so long because I know if I finish A Court of Silver Flames and I don't know when the next book's coming out and I have to sit there and wait, it's going to hurt me, okay? So I've been pushing it off, but I've been really, really just missing this world and these characters, so I decided to read this one. It's very short. It's like 230 pages, I believe. And guys, it was just perfect. 5-star. I feel like any of these books is going to be a 5-star. I just don't know how she does it. I just really don't. There's magic in these books. There's magic, okay? And it heals something in me. I don't know. When I'm reading these books, I'm teleported to Valoris. I'm literally standing next to Rhys and Feyre and Cassian and Asriel. And guys, I just love this series so much. And honestly, it scares me because everyone I've ever talked to has told me that Throne of Glass is better. And I don't know if I can put myself through that. If I love this series so much, and as much as I do, I don't know how I'm ever going to read Throne of Glass because it's going to kill me, probably. That's dramatic. But anyway, I just love this world. This was a perfect little, I think it's like a novella, honestly. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a novella, but I could be wrong. But it just was a perfect in between for the books, and I just love them so much. Okay guys, now it's time for the September TBR, and I'm so excited for the books that I want to read this month. They're all like amazing, and I have such high hopes for every single one of these books. So let's get started with that. I'm so excited to show y'all the books. Okay guys, so this first book I've actually already started. I started it in August and I didn't end up finishing it, but I do want to finish it this month because I really love the book so far. It's very like information heavy kinda, but that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. the Shadowhunters universe, all of that. I'm on page 198 and I love it so far. This is one of those books where you just can't put it down. Like, I started reading it one night at like 10 o'clock and I could not make myself go to sleep. I was like, okay, one more chapter, just one more chapter, just one more. And it ended up going on for hours, and I think I read all of this in one night. But yeah, I do want to finish this and possibly start the next book. Possibly, probably not. But yes, I'm so excited for this series and this world. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I'm really excited to also watch the movie after I finish it. And yeah, I'm just so excited about this book. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize to you guys about how many times I'm probably about to say excited, obsessed, love, like, all of that. I get nervous in front of a camera. I'm very socially awkward, so this is hard for me, but I'm trying my best, okay? And that's what matters. But yes, let's continue. Okay, the next book is actually the second in a series, and that is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. If you don't know, this is the second book in the Carval series, and I thoroughly enjoyed Carval, so I'm hopeful for Legendary and Finale, and I'm gonna try to finish this series so quickly because I have to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like, I need to read that really, really badly. I've heard that if you read it before Carval, it spoils the Carval series, so I am going to try to finish this first, but honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But yes, I am very, very excited about this because they are going back into the games again, and I just loved the first one so much that I feel like I'm going to love this one. It just was such a beautiful world, a very aesthetic, classical, beautiful world, if that makes any sense at all. But I'm just very excited to see what this next book holds. I actually read Carval in one day, so maybe we'll see if I can read this one in a day. I don't think so because it is quite long. It is almost 500 pages, so I don't think I'll be reading this in a day, but maybe two. You never know. Okay, this next book is just like a little filler, cutesy little YA romance, and that is Begin Again by Emma Lord, and she is the best-selling author of Tweet Cute. I've never read it, but I have heard of it, and people were like obsessed. But this one I want to read because it basically is in a college setting, like they're starting school, and then there's a romance from there. And I actually like just started back going to college. It's my second year, and I just feel like it would be so cute to read about a girl going to college while I'm going to college. Like, that just seems so cutesy, and it also is giving like summer turning into fall vibes, and that's what's happening right now also. So I'm very excited to read this. It is about a girl named Andy Rose, and she transfers to a big college, and she's majoring in psychology, and her relationship is going through a little rocky patch. Her RA, his name is Milo, and he's a coffee guzzling grump with seafoam green eyes and is somehow disrupting all her ideas about love and relationship. And basically, since he's her RA, he's off limits, and I'm sure you can see where it's going to go from there. But I'm just really excited and ready to read this. I feel like it's such a good summer to fall read, and I'm just so, like, it's going to be so cute. Are you kidding? I hope. Maybe it's a 5-star. I know I dismissed it like it's just a filler book, but it could very well be a 5-star. But we will see about that, won't we? Okay, guys, this next book is probably the book that I'm most excited for, and it's also a book that I've been putting off for far too long, and it's finally time to jump in, and that is Magnolia Parks. I have heard nothing but excellent things about this book, and yes, I probably bring her up in every video I make, but bestie Sarah Caroli, this is her favorite book series ever, and I'm just so ready to read it. Basically what I've heard is it's like Gossip Girl, but in book form, and it's about Magnolia and BJ, and that's all I need to know. Yeah. I'm sure I'm the last person in the world to start this series, but I'm very excited to. I'm stoked, like ecstatic. I can't wait. I can't wait. And yeah, words can't explain it, okay? That's it. Okay, next, ignore the pile of books right here. It's growing rapidly, but the next book that I want to read in September is What Happens After Midnight by K.L. Walther, and I actually have read one of her books before, The Summer of Broken Rules, and guys, I loved The Summer of Broken Rules so much. It was a very high rating for me. I actually read it like this time last year, and I just love her writing. And so I want to pick up this one, What Happens After Midnight, and then in either October or November, I want to read her other book, which is called Maybe Meant to Be, and it actually takes place in a more fall setting. And it's about a girl who is almost officially finished with boarding school, and she's kind of been the girl that is the goody two shoes. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't go to parties. She doesn't participate in things. And basically, she receives a note inviting her to join the anonymous senior class jester for like the end of the year prank. And she sees that as her chance to put her goody two shoes reputation behind her, and there's a romance, and it just sounds like a cute little YA book, and you never can go wrong with picking up a cute little YA book. So I'm very excited to read this. And just look at this cover. They're so pretty. I love her covers. Like, the designs are so wonderful. So, yeah. The next book is one that I've heard to be quite the tearjerker, but that is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I'm so excited to read this book. It is about friendship between women and them going from kids to adults and just the trials and tribulations that friends go through. And I just really want to pick this up because I've been going through things with friends recently, and I just need a good cry, you know? I'm someone who bottles everything up, so I need something like this. If a book can make me feel such an emotion that I shed tears, it's an instant 5-star for me, because how can words on paper do that? Literally. These people aren't real. Yeah. But yet, they make me cry. So, yeah, if this book brings me to tears, it's going to be a 5-star. Can already tell y'all. And I already assume that it's going to bring me to tears. But if it does, that's what I read it for. I read it for a good, heartbreakingly beautiful story that makes me feel things. Okay? So, yeah, I'm so ready for this book. Okay, this next book is another that I'm quite ashamed that I haven't read yet, and that is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I am currently waiting for this to be available on Libby. I have it like on hold, but I'm waiting for the other people in front of me to get done with it. The only reason I haven't read this yet is because of how minuscule the words are, and I have headaches like basically all the time, but when I force myself to read things like this, I get migraines, so that's the only reason I haven't read it yet, but I'm so excited to read this. Again, mentioning Sarah Caroli, but this is another one of her favorite books, and I just know that she's not going to steer me wrong in that area of life, aka reading, but I'm so excited. Basically, I think it's about like a girl that is being hunted, and then the guy that's hunting her, and I think there's like a romance or something. I don't know. I haven't looked too far into it because I don't want to know what it's about. I just want to read it and be surprised and fall in love with it. So that's what I'm going to do. I cannot wait for my Kindle or my phone to give me the notification that this is available. I'm snatching it. I'm going to stop whatever I'm reading, and I'm going to read this, and I'm going to devour it. And hopefully it'll be a 5-star. I mean, look at this cover. I just feel like it's going to be a 5-star. But yeah. Howlers by Lauren Roberts. I'm coming for you this month. If I don't read this book this month, guys, I need y'all to terrorize me in next month's comments, okay? Please. Actually, don't, because I'm very sensitive and I will cry. But yeah, anyway. Okay, guys, there's only 2 more, so bear with me. The first is The Naturals. Yes, I've already read this. Yes, I did just bring it up a while ago. But I want to reread it because I just loved this series so much. It is literally Criminal Minds, but make it YA and make it a book. And I love Criminal Minds. It's one of my favorite TV shows. So I do want to reread this. I just really need a good reread, and I felt like this was the perfect one. So yeah, not going to talk too much about it. It's basically just about these kids who have these special abilities, and the FBI like hires them to come work for them. And it's just a really good series. And yes, it's YA, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. My mother loved it as well. So if you haven't read it, please do. I know that you won't regret it. So yeah, gonna reread this at some point, hopefully. Okay, guys, the last book on my September TBR is Scythe by Neil Schusterman. I probably mispronounced that. I'm sorry. This is actually on my fall TBR, and a few of these were actually, but I'm really excited to read this. It's a YA fantasy, and it's about a world with no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. Humanity has conquered all those things and has even conquered death. And now scythes are the only ones who can end life. And basically, these 2 kids are chosen, well, teenagers, these 2 teenagers are chosen to apprentice to a scythe, and they don't want to do it. And I think there might be a romance in it. I'm not positive, but I am just really excited for this. I feel like it's going to be a good little YA fantasy book, and I'm excited, guys. I know. Let's get an I'm excited counter in the comments. Somebody count how many times I say it, because yeah. But anyway, I am ready to read this. It's been one of the books that you go to the bookstore and you see and you're like, oh, I want to read that, but then you don't pick it up. So I've been doing that for years now, but I finally bought it and I'm finally going to read it. So yeah, that was the last book on my September TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've read any of these books and you liked or disliked them, please share your opinions in the comments. Like, subscribe, and comment if you would like. It would make me very, very happy. And also be on the lookout because I am going to be posting a fall TBR video soon. Hopefully don't quote me on that because I am a college student and I do have classwork and homework and tests and quizzes and all of that, and I also have a job, so I am quite busy, so don't quote me on that, but I am going to try to do that soon. But I love you guys so much. I'm so thankful for you guys. I just hit 100 subscribers on here, and I know that that is a very minuscule amount, but I'm just so happy and proud about that, and I just love posting on here so much. I love to read, and I'm so happy that even 100 people care about what I think about books, and that just makes me so happy and thankful and grateful, and I'm just so grateful for you guys, and I love you so, so much. So be on the lookout for my next video, and if you want to subscribe, I would be very happy to have you. But I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to drink water, read a good book, and be happy. And I love you so, so much.